Hello, viewers. Welcome back. In the last session, we discussed about the voucher type and how a user, if they want to create their own user voucher type, we saw how you can create the user voucher type. Now, that was part of the basic playlist. In today's session, we will discuss about the magic of Tally as part of our playlist tips and tricks, where you can further do advanced configuration in your voucher type. Let us take some use cases and then try what are the different use cases which requires for you to configure your voucher type as per your needs. First use case, let us say that during the year, in the financial year, you have been working on some other software, or you have been doing your accounts manually, and in the mid of the financial year, let's say that you are moving into Tally. Now, let's take the example of sales invoice. Now, from the beginning of the financial year, you would have started invoicing, and your invoice sequential number will continue. And now let us assume that in the month of June, you are moving into Tally, but whereas you have already done your invoicing till the month of May, and let us assume that your invoice number as on the last day of the month before shifting into Tally. So in this example, we are shifting on 1st of June. So your voucher number is already 55, sales voucher number. Now, just because you're moving into Tally, you can't start your voucher number from number one if that is your requirement. So, the requirement is that you want to now continue your voucher number as the next voucher number. So, the example I took is the invoice number, let us say, is 55. So, now you want to start your invoice number with 56. So can you handle this, or does Tally handles this? Yes, Tally handles this. So this is use case number one. Use case number two. When you are selecting by default the sales voucher, you will see that automatic number will be selected by default. And we also saw in the last session that how you can change the uh, voucher numbering mechanism. So we will also get into that in little further detail in this section. So you have set your voucher number as automatic number, but then let us assume that you want some kind of a prefix or suffix, or maybe both. You need a prefix and you want a suffix. So prefix is basically you can set up a common character or alphabet or numeric that you want to specify for some kind of a tracking or revision purpose. And the suffix is basically you want to have your financial year as your suffix, like for example 2021, 21, 22. So that way, by looking into your invoice number, you will know that to which financial year it belongs to. So the question is, will Tally now allow me to provide uh, prefix and suffix? Yes, Tally allows you to provide prefix and suffix. The third use case is that you want the voucher number to be starting from number one every year with a change in the prefix or suffix. Will Tally handle? Yes, Tally will definitely handle that requirement also. The other aspect, let us assume that in your organization, you have a freshly appointed accountant or a data entry operator, and the person, you don't want that person to struggle creating the invoice, and also you would not want the person to keep selecting multiple ledgers during the sales entry. So, which means basically you would want to predefine some of the ledgers that is required to be updated in your sales voucher. So is there a way where I can predefine these ledgers so that when my person is doing an invoice, he has to just select the party, select the item, specify the quantity that he is going to bill in that particular invoice, specify the rate, and it immediately create the invoice. So without worrying about what are the tax ledger that may be selected, or whether the sales ledger, what type of sales ledger needs to be selected. So all these things can be predefined using the Tally voucher class. So these are the different use cases where basically you would want to set up everything in Tally, so that the data entry operator need not have to really struggle to complete the data entry or complete the sales invoice. And at the same time, you have the right kind of ledgers being updated or captured in an invoice, so that your accounting is taken care appropriately. And also in case of an tax compliance is concerned, your taxes are also taken care proper, the right kind of taxes. So under GST, we know that for intrastate there are different taxes to be charged, and for interstate you have a different tax type to be used. So let us now quickly move to Tally and then see how we can solve these use case requirements of different users. So this will be part of, like I mentioned, it will be part of the tips and tricks of my playlist. And you can actually see under the tips and tricks playlist this particular video. And now, for the benefit of, again, for Tally Prime users, so let me start with the Prime and then show how you can configure these magic of your voucher type in Tally Prime. And then I will move into Tally uh, ERP also, and then we will see that how do you configure. Like I mentioned earlier, see, most of the configuration or most of the features of Tally Prime is going to be the same thing, except for very minor enhancements that has happened. Otherwise, whatever you see in Tally Prime, the same kind of an experience you will have in Tally ERP. Or where I'll keep switching in every session, I'll keep switching between Tally ERP to start with, show all those configurations or the functionalities that we are going to cover in that particular video, and move on to Tally Prime, or I will start with Tally Prime and then we will move on to ERP. Either way, like I mentioned, it is going to be very easy. Wherever there is a change, wherever there are any additional configuration that is required for the user to know between the difference in ERP and Tally Prime, I will definitely highlight this. So let me quickly share my screen. So I'm starting with Tally Prime today. So that, what is my need? Basically, I would want to do additional configuration in my voucher type. So my use case number one is that in between the financial year, if I want to continue my sequential serial number of my any voucher, sales is very critical from a GST point of view. Any voucher you want to continue your serial number, first we will see how do we now configure that, and also we will see how you can set up a, a prefix and a suffix for your voucher types. Okay, so let me go to, we know that, I mean, like, we have to go into voucher type master. So like your accounting master, you also have a voucher type master, which we saw in our previous session. So I have already created, in the last class we saw that we created a sales voucher type called sales local. So we will use that same voucher type and we will see what are the additional configurations that you can do, or what are the additional magic of Tally that we can do in the voucher type. Okay. So let me go to alter. I'm going to go to alter. I'm selecting voucher type, and we had created the sales local voucher type. So I'm going to take that sales voucher type, and we will continue with the advanced configuration. So in the last time I mentioned about the automatic and the automatic manual overriders. Basically, Tally will automatically give you the next number that needs to be captured for that voucher type, considering your previous voucher number. But in case if for some reason, maybe not in the sales voucher type, maybe in your other voucher type, for some reason if you want to override the automatic number and if you want to specify your own manual number, you can do that by selecting the automatic manual override. So manual, we have said that Tally is not going to give you any voucher type. It will basically ask you to enter the voucher type. And we also saw that when you select manual voucher type, there is further another option in Tally which says, do you want to prevent duplicate numbers? So when you set it as yes, then Tally will warn you in case if you are entering the manual number which is already been saved in the particular voucher type. So that is the manual. The next one is multi-user auto. What is this multi-user auto? Now, in a multi-user environment where multiple people in your organizations are capturing the data or passing the entries, especially in case of sales, right? So what happens is that by default, until and unless you don't save that voucher, Tally is not going to capture that number, so that it will know that, okay, this particular number voucher is already saved. And when somebody is going to go to that particular voucher, let's take the example of sales. So I save this voucher, my sale number is 10, and now when I go to my next voucher, Tally is going to give me automatically my next number. But then this is in case of a single person, updating the sales invoice. Let us say in your organization there are two, three people who are entering sales invoice. So in that case, you have to be very careful that you have the serially or the sequential number being created in Tally. So if you select multi-user auto, what happens is that, let us say there are two people who are going to make this sale entry. So now already sale invoice number 10 is saved. So now when the person is going into the sales voucher, Tally will automatically take the next number 11, right? And now this person is in the sales voucher. He is not still saved the sales voucher for the next number to be allotted or captured as the number for that particular voucher. In the meantime, uh, accountant A is gone into sales voucher. The voucher number Tally is going to show 11, and another person is also going to go into the sales invoice. Now, because this two people are in the sales invoice, so since the last saved number is 10, for both the voucher number is going to be 11, because that's going to be the next number. Now, between the two of them, whoever saves the voucher first. So accountant A is in the sales voucher with sale bill number 11. Accountant B is in the sales invoice with sale bill number 11. Now, any person who saves the voucher number first, the next sequential number will be allotted for that particular voucher. So now let's say accountant A is saving the voucher. Now in accountant B also the voucher number Tally gives us 11. So now the 11 voucher has already been saved. So when accountant B is trying to save the voucher, he cannot have the same number in the automatic sequential numbering. So if you select multi-user auto, while saving the voucher, when accountant B is now saving the voucher, Tally is going to give you a message saying that this particular voucher will be saved with voucher number 12, because on the face of the invoice you are seeing 11, where both went into the next available number voucher. So accountant A is saved 11 already. So now when accountant B is saving the voucher, with this warning, he will know that, okay, this sale invoice number is going to get saved with the next sequential number, that is number 12. So that is where this multi-user auto is going to be really, really helpful, so that the person knows that though the number that he is seeing on the voucher before saving could change depending on the number of vouchers that has been saved. subsequently by any other user who is using the same voucher type. So that's about your multi-user auto. And then of course none. So some of the voucher type, like if you don't want any reference or recall of any voucher number for verification purpose, then you can go and set it up saying that I don't want any voucher number, just keep saving the voucher. So the none is going to be without any voucher number. So let us take automatic in this case. And then this is where you have this use advanced configuration. So let's go inside this use advanced configuration, and we will see what are all the advanced configuration that we can do for our voucher type. So I go into here. Now this is where you have this voucher type additional configuration. So the first, what was our first use case? My first use case was I have already have 55 vouchers created in a different system. Right now, since I'm going to start raising an invoice in Tally, I want the same number to be continued for this financial year. So now by default, Tally gives you starting number as 1. And if you want to change this number, you can now specify the next sequential number, where you can say as 56. So now when you start saving the first voucher in Tally will start creating the voucher number from 56 onwards. Okay, so that is where you can now change your number for you to have a continuity of your number. The next one is the width of the numeric part. See, in some cases what happens that okay, now I know that I am not going to raise more than uh, 3 digit number. So when I say 3 digit number, I'm in any year I'm not going to save I mean like raise more than 999 invoices, right? So this is one kind of a restriction also I can bring in, so that I can specify what is the numeric width part. So supposing, let us say I say 3 numeric part. So I already have 2 digit already saved. So now when I put 3 digit, that means for this particular voucher type, I can create up to 999 vouchers. Beyond that, in this particular financial year, I cannot capture, because I have already told width of my numeric part is only 3 digit. Okay. Now, do you want to pre-fill? So I've said that yes, my numeric part should be 3 digit. And if I say yes, I want to pre-fill, then the extra digit, which is still not used in Tally, it is going to pre-fill with 0. So in this case, we have said the starting number is 56, and I said my numeric part is 3 digit. So now what Tally is going to do? Tally is going to put 0 before 5. So that way, you know, you are in the voucher number 56 when you are going to start this voucher, and you have maximum 3 digit of vouchers, which is amounting to 999 vouchers that can be captured for this particular voucher type. You can restart your number uh, for bringing the continuity aspect of it in your sales invoice. Okay, so we understood now the numeric part, and also pre-filling with 0. Now let us try and understand what are these three sections that are there in Tally, and how you can make use of this. So just ignore this for the time being. Assume that now you are starting fresh in the beginning of the financial year, where your voucher number is going to be number 1, right? So now you have an option of restarting the number. So what is the option that you have, or what is the periodicity uh, by which you can restart your voucher number? So for example, let us say I say 1st of April, starting number is going to be number 1. And now the periodicity here is that if I want, I can restart my number from 1 every day. So this is basically is the periodicity. If I select daily, then Tally is going to restart your number from 1 daily. So that today, whatever is the number of voucher that you have entered, and next day when you are coming to this particular voucher type, Tally is going to give you a uh, restart number with 1 again for the next particular day. So like this, if you want, you can set up the restart numbering based on these periodicities which Tally is providing. So which is daily. If you want to restart, you can restart monthly. Then if you want to restart weekly, you can do that. And normally people would want to restart on a yearly basis. Now, restart uh, section, the periodicity says never. So this is where many businesses, I mean, like some of them, not many businesses, some of the businesses would want to retain their sales invoice, especially the sales invoice. The day they started their business, they want their sales invoice to start with number one. And as long as the business is continuing, they don't want to renumber the sales invoice. They year on year, they would want to continue the numbering, continue from the previous year. Not what is the normal behavior of Tally? The normal behavior of Tally, if you are not going to do any of this configuration here, which we saw in our basic section, then in that case, by default, Tally will renumber all the vouchers that you are using in your company. It will restart with number one in the new financial year. So you are now overriding the default behavior of Tally by getting into this advanced configuration. So you can say uh, whatever is the different periodicity, monthly, yearly, weekly, or daily. And if you say never, so the starting of your company, when you create your company, it says financial year beginning from. So that is going to be a starting point of your company in Tally. So it will start with number one because that is the first year that you are going to capture the data in Tally. And if you select that I don't want to restart on a yearly basis, which is what Tally does by default, then you can select this as never, and then Tally will never restart this particular voucher type. So if you want the same kind of a behavior for whatever voucher type that you are using, you need to come here and then you can configure this. So let's just leave this as yearly. And now I can say, so this is going to continue in case, I mean, like if you want, you can continue with this. It's not an issue. Now comes your prefix. Now let us understand this prefix detail. So in our use case, we said for some reason you want to give some kind of a prefix. So that means this company is potential services, and you want to just prefix with PS as a prefix. So now you can actually start specifying what is the prefix that you want. So one is going to be a generic prefix where you can specify, for example, I will say from 1st of April, from 1st of April, let us say that my prefix has to be PS, and I will put one oblique. So this is one use case where for my entire year, the prefix is going to start with PS, and my auto number will automatically get captured after my oblique. So this is one requirement. See, other use case we can think of is that let us say that I want to put a prefix of my month in 3 characters, right? So April month, I want to put a prefix as APR, enter for some reason, right? And then now, if I'm putting a prefix for the month of April, then it doesn't make sense for me to have APR when I go to the next month or the subsequent month. So then how do I handle this situation? Very simple. You just come here and then you say from 1st of May, your prefix needs to be changed to MAY slash. 1st of June, your prefix has to change to JUN slash. Okay, so this is one of the way that you can set up your prefix. Then based on this logic, whatever is your need, probably you will understand how you can set up the prefix and how you can break up the periodicity also, which is with the applicable date, right? So I come here and then I come to my suffix. So suffix is going to be basically after your voucher number. If you want to provide any suffix information, you can provide suffix information also. So I will say from 1/4 2020, I want my suffix information because I'm going to get my auto voucher number. So just to separate my auto voucher number, I will start with an oblique, and then I'm going to say this is the financial year 2021. I'm going to say my financial year is 2021, and now I want my financial year uh, 21 22 when I move into my next financial year. So I can specify 1 4 21, right? So now, because I am going to go into the next financial year, I'm going to say 21 22. Okay, and then I'm going, so this way you can specify this. You don't have to give multiple, so you just 1 or 2 year you can give, and you can always come back to the alteration screen, and then you can alter or add this additional information for the subsequent months or the subsequent year. So this is what basically allows you to one, restart number based on the periodicity or the requirement that you have. And we also saw how you can continue with your old existing number to be starting in tally with the uh, running number. So that is what we saw in a different use case. Now we discussed about this in a different use case, and all three you can take this particular use case where I am saying that I want to restart my sales voucher number yearly, and every year I want my prefix to be with the name of the month, so that I know this is April month. And though I have my voucher date, but this gives me a quick identification of which month this invoice is made. I'm just giving an example. So I can do this, I can do it for all 12 months, right? And then automatically with this, if you see, you will have April. So if let's say you are making the first sales invoice, so it is going to say APR slash 1, right? And then it is going to give you the suffix of 2021. So when you go to the April of 2021, and then it is going to give you April there, and you will get the suffix detail of 21 22 when you go into the subsequent financial year. So let us just quickly uh, go back and then create a proper sequence so that we will see how this particular configuration that we are doing is going to impact your uh, sales entry. So now let's quickly create. So I now I'm just going to create a new voucher type. So I'll go to create, and I'll say enter, and let us say I will say sales one. So just for our understanding, now I'm going to say the type of voucher is the sales voucher, right? And then I will say voucher numbering is automatic, and then I'm going to use advanced configuration. This is my fresh financial year, so I want my voucher to be starting from number one. So, and I want to give the prefix as with numeric part as 3-digit maximum, and then I'll say prefill this. So here I'm going to now say I want to restart numbering yearly. Okay, and then I will say my prefix I want for the month of April, APR slash, and for the month of May, I want to say MAY slash, in the month of June, I want to say JUN, and then we can keep doing this. Okay, I'm going to say June, enter. And now I'm going to say uh, suffix. So suffix is going to be so slash 2021 for the current year, and from April 21. When I say A21, it automatically tally will take to 1st of April 21. So now I want to say this as 21 22. Okay. Now let us see what is the impact of this configuration when we are now going to start capturing the voucher for the new voucher type that we have created, sales one. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and let us now come to voucher entry screen. Voucher entry, right? So this is my old thing what we saw in the previous section. Now I want my new voucher type called sales one. So I'm going to press F8 again, and we discussed about this. Whatever is the number of user defined voucher type you create under a nature of voucher type, Tally is going to give you the list of all the voucher type, so that you can select your appropriate voucher type for capturing the transaction. So in this case, we have created sales one. So I'm going to enter sales one, and you see here it says May 001 2021. Why? Because my voucher entry date is on 10th of May. So let me just change the voucher date. Let me say 1 4. I want to enter on 1 4. And if you notice here, because this voucher type, we have still not saved any voucher. That is why you will see this 001 is because this is the first voucher you are doing, irrespective of which month you are going. So now my first voucher, let us assume I'm starting on 1st of April. So Tally is going to put the prefix as APR 001 2021. Okay. So assuming that I go into month of June, I say 1 6. Okay, enter. And now you see your prefix is become JUN, and still you have not saved any voucher earlier, so the number remains the same, and the year is also 2021. Now let's just move to the next financial year. We said no that Tally has to put the suffix as 21 22. So how do I move into the next financial year? Right, so I am going to click on this right pointing arrow, where which means under this particular button there are other actionable buttons which are part of this particular button. So one, either you click this left pointing arrow, or you press alt and see what are the other actionable button with the alt combination. So in with my alt combination, I have F2. I think probably you will not see because my image could be there here. Let me just quickly slightly reduce this and show you, so that you know what basically I'm trying to explain here, right? So now this F2 is there, right? So now if I want to see, because you will see this left pointing arrow which is in dark blue, which means that there are other actionable buttons under this button. So either you click here and see what are the other actionable button that is there. If you want to use your keyboard shortcut, remember our secret number one. If you want to use our keyboard shortcut, then if you just hold your alt key, Tally is going to show you what are the other uh, uh, actionable things that you can do with the alt combination. So now alt F2, it says to change the period. So I'm just going to maximize this. Now I'm going to press alt F2, right? And then let's assume that I move to my next financial year. That is going to be 1 4 21, or I can say A21. Tally will know it is 1st of April 21, and I will say M22. That is March year 2022. So now you will see the current period, it says 1st of April 2021 and March 22. So we have moved to next financial year, which is the 1st of April 2021 to 31st March 22. Now, let us see how the my prefix and suffix is going to work. Now, for you to, if you notice, we had specified the prefix information till June, which means literally you would have entered those prefix information till March 31st, assuming that. Now we are in the next financial year. So you in the next financial year also, you want that APR May, June, July to be continued for your next financial year as a standard prefix, but your suffix needs to change based on the financial year. That is what we have already done in the suffix, but we are not changed, or we are not added the prefix for our current financial year, which is April 2021 onwards. So you have to now go and then specify the prefix information to be captured by Tally for the current financial year. So what do you do? You go to alteration of the screen, and then you select voucher type, right? And then you will select your voucher type, which is your sales one. Enter. Right now you will we are in the alteration mode. Now you will come here to the advanced. I've already just configured, so I will just show you. So you will say advanced configuration, yes. And if you notice here, we had given till June. So I'm assuming that for the entire year you would have entered July, August, September till March, you would have entered that. Now, since my next financial year, I want the same kind of a prefix to happen. So I'm going to now say for the month of April, from 1st of April, you put APR again in the new financial year also. Okay. And you are breaking this APR and you are telling Tally that from 1st of May, instead of APR, you are going to put MAY as a prefix. So similar kind, what you are going to do, again, you are going to capture this 12 months prefix information that you want in your voucher type for the new financial year, which is now your current financial year has become 21-22. Okay, so this is what you're going to do on a monthly basis if you want a change to happen on a monthly basis, or if you want your prefix to change on a yearly basis. Similarly, the way we have only just selected two, the entire financial year, I said from 1st of April you start putting the suffix as 2021, and then you are now breaking that suffix and you are saying from 1st of April 2021, you put the suffix as 21-22. Similarly, if you want yearly behavior for your prefix, you can configure the same way. Since you want monthly configuration, then your 12 month for the previous year should be specified here, and 12 month for your upcoming or the current financial year, which is 2021-22, you're going to specify. Now, when you go into next year, 22-23, then if you want the same kind of a behavior, again you'll have to specify those 12-month date. Okay, so I hope this is clearer for all of you. Okay, so now when I come here, now let me just come, now let us come, we are in the new financial year 21-22. What happens? I come to voucher entry, right? And if you see here, my sales voucher, May has come, it is showing 001 because in the current financial year I have still not saved any voucher. And if you notice the suffix, you will see now it is changed to 21-22. Let me just go change the date to 1st of April. So I will say 1st April. You don't have to enter the date because Tally knows what is the current period. Enter, and now you see it is given APR 001 21 22. I go to the month of June because we have configured only for 3 months in our voucher type. So I'm going to press F2. Now I'm going to say 16. Enter. Now Tally is going to take JUN 001 21 22. So this is how you basically can set up a prefix and a suffix information for any of your voucher type. And the first use case that we discussed, that if you want to continue your voucher numbering from whatever number that you want to start in Tally for whatever day, you know how to specify. Now, because we said I want only 3 digit, so Tally is giving you only 3 digit. Okay, and we also mentioned that prefill with 0. So by prefilling with 0, I would know that maximum vouchers that I can enter for this particular voucher type is 999, which is 999. So in the next session, we will see the other advanced configuration that we are going to do in Tally Prime as well as Tally ERP. Now, whatever we saw here in Tally Prime, the same kind of experience you're going to have. There is no change uh, whatsoever. Uh, if you have understood how to configure this in Tally Prime, if you are using Tally ERP, it is the same way. Let me just quickly go to Tally ERP, and then I'll show you those interface so that you will know that there is no major change between Tally Prime and ERP as far as this voucher numbering and prefix suffix setting up in Tally. So let me just go to quickly Tally ERP, right? So I'm going to go to accounts info, and then I'm going to press V for voucher type, and then I'm going to say C for create. So same kind of a voucher type I'm creating, sales one. I'm going to say this is part of my sales, right? So method of voucher numbering, I'm saying automatic, use advanced. So you see the interface, it is going to be the same thing. Now I'm going to press enter, and you are seeing the same interface. Okay, starting number, if you want, you can change width of the numeric part. If you want, you can specify whether you want 3 digit or 4 digit. and till it reaches that three digit, till that three digit gets filled with the numeric value from 1 onwards. Okay, if you want to pre-fill with 0, so that you know that what is the maximum width of the number that you have set up, you can specify pre-fill with 0, and restart numbering again is the same interface that you are seeing in ERP also. We understood how to set up prefix detail. We also understood how to set up suffix detail. So in the next session, we will see other configurations, and a very, very interesting thing, we will also see the class. What is this class? The third use case I was talking about, where for a voucher type, you can set up some default ledgers which needs to be updated while passing this voucher entry, so that the person who's doing the voucher entry need not have to get hassled with which ledger he has to select and those kind of things. Okay, we will see that in the part 2 of this tips and tricks on voucher type. So thank you all for staying till the end. And as usual, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Share this video with your friends so that they can also get benefited. Thank you. See you all until the next session. Thank you very much.